But thanks for listening. Yeah. Hello and welcome to We Say Things, episode 269. Nice. SUNSfan here with Cinderin. It's been a while, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a hot minute. How have you been, Cinderman?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when we did our last episode, because I think... So you've obviously been to EWC, and I think before that, I had a week holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably been 3 weeks?
I believe so.
Say. I could obviously look this up, but I think it's more interesting to speculate when the last episode was.
It is more fun, you're right. Fake info is always cooler than real. Interestingly enough, or maybe the opposite of that, there's like somehow in 3 weeks, there's like almost nothing to talk about. I'm sure we'll fill an hour, but that's kind of crazy.
I'm going to make a bold prediction right now, Shannon. We are not going to fill an hour today. This is going to be our shortest episode this year.
This year? Okay, well, I don't even know what that's going to be.
You're really stalling right now.
I have to think just a moment there. I don't think you realize I have some things set up to talk about.
Oh, yeah?
That's going to fill some time as well.
That's good.
But first, of course, as usual, our beautiful In Bruges tier thank you to Mechazor, Empire of Dirt, 10 out of 10 Goldblums, Malicious Damage, Lakers in Cancun, Amish Toaster, we need a slur for people who use AI and ChatGPT for everything.
Let's go with SUNSfan for that one.
Yep, that's fair.
Call them SUNSfans.
Crownfall Enjoyer, Suns Nugget Boy, STGC Daniel, Pepperballs, and T Coil.
And Vlad, let's have Puppy on the podcast. Disco Farm D, The Mega Pope, Shark TM, Janie, Dop, Wooden Aftertaste, Anonymous, and male koalas have a deep bellow that sounds like a mix of a chainsaw and a pig. Mr. Niebling. What?
I feel like I've heard it in videos. It's terrifying.
Oh, if we want to make this episode longer, you could find a clip of that right now.
No, that's not going to be safe for the ears, I think.
No. You like ASMR, though.
That is not ASMR.
To the right person, anything is ASMR. That's actually a famous quote from Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, true. All right, so let us talk about the one main topic of today, which is EWC, which I attended, of course. I'm going to break this up into two segments. One is the tournament itself, the teams, the reaction from people, blah, blah, blah. And then the second thing is my visit to the homeland, as it were, Saudi Arabia. The tournament was split up into 2 weeks instead of the 3, which was the previous. There was a group stage and then a second phase of the group stage, that's when elimination started, and then the playoff stage. The format of this tournament was really weird. A big part of it was a single elimination playoffs, which we'll get to in just a moment. But the first half of the tournament, in terms of game quality, was complete dog shit. It's some of the worst Dota that you will ever see. And then in conjunction with that, the production, I actually don't have any inside knowledge on this because everybody was asking the same question. What happened this year? From the production standpoint, something changed and it was just not great. A lot of issues. Like I think me and Kezu were casting the first week. We had a singular game that was good. Everything else was complete garbage. And the one game that was good, the sound went out. So the entire cast was like halfway through, I had the production in my ear saying, keep casting. This is for YouTube VOD. I'm like, great, cool, good stuff.
I hear that. They shouldn't have said anything.
So yeah, I don't have any inside information on it. It was really weird. Things were just not normal for whatever reason.
Okay.
But we already talked about the teams that participated. I will say one little funny anecdote. We were told that BetBoom were not fans of us calling them other things other than BB Team. Because as you guys may or may not know, I mean, Paravision also had the same issue with P-Vision. Basically, betting is not allowed in Saudi. So they just had to come up with, different names. We had to call them different stuff, which is where the BB Team, names that Kezu and I came from.
Right.
They actually complained, and that's why we didn't do many names. We still did them, of course, because you know me, I'm a complete
Can't help
dickhead,
yourself.
and I can't help myself.
Yeah.
But I find that weird, though, because I feel like from a marketing standpoint, like on your PR team for BetBoom, this is like the best possible thing that could happen, is getting attention, even if it's not, because BB Team's not their name either, right? Attention is still
Right.
being drawn. This is a win-win from the team perspective and the cast, because people fucking find it hilarious, and so do we. So that was a huge letdown. And the Paravision's name was P Vision, which is so bad. But we had some fun with that one, at least, because they hadn't complained yet. So,
Right.
but yeah, the tournament itself, the first group stage, again, there was no elimination, so not really much to talk about. The groups were pretty lopsided, I would say, for the most part.
There were 4 groups of 4, and the top placing team went straight to playoffs, right?
Yeah. So number
And then
one
the
seed.
second.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one seed just skipped a bunch of days, which
Yeah.
the teams didn't like that either, even though they got because you're not playing Dota then. Like Team Liquid didn't perform very well after the fact, and it could very well be because of that. So second, wait, what did the bottom 2 go to again? To the, let me see.
The second place team skipped a round, right?
Yeah. So second through fourth for each group ends up going to the next phase 2, which has elimination behind it, and the second place of each group gets the bye, essentially, like you said. Yeah. So in the end, the teams that were going through were Team Spirit, BetBoom, Aurora, and Team Liquid. They won their group, so they got straight to phase 3. And then Paravision, Gaiman, Tundra, and Falcons. And again, I have yet to cast a single game of Got the Juice, still, somehow, which is fucking crazy. Still waiting for that day.
I'm looking at it here. So all the second place teams from the groups went through with the exception of Navi. They were the one second place team that didn't make it, and they got 2-0'd by Falcons.
Yeah.
I mean, this format is, honestly, when you look at it, it's kind of crazy, right? That it's like you're taking 16 world-class teams, or at least most of them. You're putting them into 4 groups. The first place goes through, peace be with that. And then it's just 2 times single elim after that with just, there's no guarantee here for the relative power dynamic in the groups and the quality of teams you're going to be facing in these single elim BO3s, right? It's really volatile when I look at this.
Yeah, it could have gone the other way where the games were just insane, but it was not the case. And from what we could tell, they literally just...
Every series is a 2-0. What?
From what we could tell, they
literally all of them.
They copy-pasted all the games into the same format, regardless of whether it made sense for the game or not. So that was a huge drawback to the tournament, I think. So yeah, like I said, the first half, and I won't get into some of the production stuff issues that we were having. It's like some of the most scuffed things. I don't know what happened. First week was, again, I had fun, but tournament-wise, it was not great. Then we get to the playoff stage, which was infinitely better. This, again, some people were complaining about this. I actually like this aspect, is that this was single elim, best of 3 with a best of 5 grand finals. Because I think, like, sometimes I think Dota is meant for double elim, but having the occasional tournament that is really big, being single, I think is really cool. It adds a different dynamic. So pretty much right off the bat, Spirit 2-0 Gaming Gladiators, then Paravision 2-1 Aurora. And again, this is just a symptom of Dota in general right now, which doesn't matter what the format is. You're going to be getting the same teams. It's like Europe. You could say it's Western Europe, Eastern Europe. It's still fucking Europe. It's one region that's ruling Dota right now, which I think is the main biggest problem in Dota right now. Tundra beats BetBoom 2-1. This is all elimination. And Falcons 2-0 is Liquid. So then Spirit versus Paravision was a good series, 2-0 to Spirit. They go to the finals, and Tundra gets 0-2'd by Falcons. So Falcons, who apparently had not been doing too hot in terms of gameplay prior to this tournament, and apparently in scrims and whatnot either. They end up going to the finals. Now, this is the weird thing about the single elim. There was a third place match that I cast with Kezu. It's like, what do you hype up here? Exactly. It's like, okay, they get some extra money and club points. Okay, great.
Yeah, what are they playing for? 100K? I mean, to be fair, that's kind of...
Sure. It's just...
That's like winning a smaller tournament, effectively getting third instead of fourth.
The whole idea of single elim kind of breaks down when you have a third place match, in my opinion. But having said that, because it was Paravision, they picked crazy ass shit, especially in game 2. Picked Meepo Pudge, Oracle, against Underlord Ricky. Like a lot of heroes that we just weren't seeing, essentially. So it was a fun series to cast, but it didn't have the same weight to it, I guess. And then the grand final, Spirit versus Falcons, was pretty one-sided. 3-0, Team Spirit, as usual. Second time Riyadh Masters winners, 2-time TI winners. They're fucking gods. They're really good.
So I'm looking at this format and I'm thinking of what they're trying to do with the format, right? Because doing a third place match is so out of place for Dota that it feels like the inspiration for this is not even gaming. Like this is the type of thing you would do in sports, right? Sometimes. Or the Olympics, right? Finding out who gets the bronze medal, right?
True.
So
that's true. That's a good point.
It's like, I don't know if that's what you're trying to mimic with it, but I feel like it's a little bit out of touch with how with how games work, right? I'm also looking at the quarterfinals. So I this is the main gripe I have with a format like this, is that you end up in a situation where, as you mentioned, the teams that get first place in their groups get like 5 bye days or whatever it was, or 3, 4, whatever. And then they go into quarterfinals and they are single elim. And 3 out of the 4 teams that won their groups actually lost in round 1. And then they're just out. It's kind of crazy, right? And you could say that if you compare it to sports, that's just the nature of how sports are. And that's a fair argument if that's what you're going for. But I will generally be comparing Dota with Dota, right? Where I feel like I can understand why you think the format is interesting and fresh. I personally think if you have like really big tournaments, then I don't think you should do single elim for them. I think it's fine to do it for something like Blast because it's a short-term format. It's meant to be something else, but this is supposed to be one of the big events, right? And I think for teams that get first in their group and then don't even get a second life, they're probably going to feel a bit snubbed. And you can always just say, hey, just play better next time. And I mean, it's kind of hard to argue against that, right? You should have just won. But at the end of the day, was this the correct top 4? Is my question. When I look at the results from groups, when I look at the results from elimination phase, I feel like the 4 best teams got top 4?
Does it look out of place to you? These are like the same teams as always, like I said. So I don't think much changed. This is where I'll disagree. So the group stage, I did not like the format. I don't like any of the first half of the tournament at all. I think it was just not good for Dota. I'll disagree with you still on the single elim playoffs. I think it made it more interesting. Like I said, I don't think it should be for every tournament, but every once in a while, even if it's a big tournament like this, I like it. Third place match, kind of out of place, but it makes sense when you try to copy paste from Olympics, I guess.
I think for me, if you want to compare this to Counter-Strike, right? Because Counter-Strike has a lot of single elim playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that's the norm. They don't actually do double elim at all, I think. The difference is in CS, the way you qualify for playoffs is through Swiss. And I think Swiss does a much better job at seeding the teams than throwing them into 4 groups of 4. And then by chance, 1 or 2 of the groups will be stronger than the others. And then you are unfortunately the team that draws that opponent. Like put yourself in the shoes of Na'Vi, right? They go 3-3 in Group A, they get second place, and their reward is that they play Falcons. Instead, they could have played Yandex or Heroic, but they drew Falcons, which is easily the best third place team of any group, right? And that's just unlucky. But ultimately, I think if you had these 4 groups of 4 and it was a Swiss instead, I think that the placement of the teams would have just been totally different.
100%. 100% agree.
Is my gut feel that would have been different. So then when you do go into single elim playoffs, are the matches and the 8 teams that are present, is that fairly seeded compared to, the actual development of the tournament? I would argue that this is it's not, like you said, it's not terrible. It's not like, oh my God, there were like 2 teams that were meant to be top 3 that got 8th. It's not like that, but...
No, I agree.
I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like we're
I
relatively
think
on the same
producible.
page. Maybe slight difference of the single limb. Like if you lead in from Swiss, then you have issue with
I'm
single
way
limb?
more on board with it. I'm
Okay.
way more on board with it if you do single
Yeah, that's
Swiss
fair.
leading in, because
Yeah.
that's what CS does, and I think it works well for that game. So
Yeah.
I don't see why that would not work in Dota
Agreed.
with Swiss first. So.
All right, what are our points, Cinderman?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. This is
I don't
a
have
good time to
any memory.
You okay?
I think
the
I did. I
current
think I did not
status-
do well though. I had to
You
guess.
you did well. We both did well. I
Oh.
think
So
so.
pick the same teams as always. So
So our current prediction score, you have 26 points and I have 20. And as usual, you get 1 point for correctly placing a team in the top 3, and you get another point if you nail the placement.
okay.
So we'll start with me. I took Team Spirit to win the whole thing, which is 2 points.
Wow.
Then I had Game Gladiators second, who got
5th, 8th.
5th, 8th, so that's nothing. And then I had Falcons in third, which gives me 1 point because they got second.
That's pretty good.
My dark horse was Navi top 8. They barely missed. They got 9 through 12, so I get nothing. And then my white donkey was Bet Boom not top 4, which happened because they got 5th through 8th. So that also gives 2. So that's 5 total.
Okay, I definitely
You
got
had
less than
Spirit
that.
winning the whole thing.
Oh, I did.
So that's 2.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Then you had Bet Boom in second, which is incorrect. But you had Parivision third, which is perfect.
Oh,
So you get 4 points there.
Oh.
However, both your Dark Horse and White Donkey were incorrect. You had Extreme getting top 8. They got 9th through 12th.
Typical. Yep.
Yeah, don't believe in the Chinese team, Shannon. I've been there. It's not worth it. And your White Donkey was Falcons not top 4, and they got second.
Yeah. Okay.
So I catch up by 1 point.
Good job. All right. One more tournament to go.
That's just the I left.
I really have to blow it. To
Yeah, you
lose this
really have
lead.
to fuck up. Yeah. Let me see. What did I say? I got 5, you got 4. Yeah. Okay, I'll add it up. All right, so you're up by 30 to 25.
All right. Cool.
Okay, that's the predictions. I mean, pretty good job to both of us, actually. I think that's one of the best predictions we've had.
Please. There's
For a
8
tournament.
teams. Not even. There's
Pretty good.
6 teams to choose from. Like it's not. Make it sound like I'm doing pretty.
I mean, you
'cause
say
there's
that. There's
one
16
region.
teams participating.
There's one region.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, you picked Extreme to get top 8, so
Yeah,
should have
I
picked the one
fucked up.
region.
I should have. Next for TI, I'm picking everything to be Europe.
Okay.
Somewhere in Europe.
Oh, I really, yeah. Okay. China's going to win this year.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious and not going to happen.
No, not gonna happen.
All right, that's the current prediction score. So how will I catch up by 5 points with TI alone? I need to change the rules a bit. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, good
I'll
luck.
find a way to
Good luck,
rig
have
this
fun.
game.
All right, so I'll now talk. I'll just feel like an old man. Again, I'm trying to find a way to stretch for content here on this podcast. So if you want to turn on the stream, Cinderin,
Okay.
I have a slideshow of pictures that I took, and we can talk about my experience, which maybe some people find interesting. I don't know, but I had fun at the very least.
Okay.
So here's a
All right.
picture in front of my favorite shawarma shop that I obsess over every year called Mama Noura. Every time I bring this up to any local Saudi, their face lights up. It's their pride and joy. It's fucking amazing. I just wanted this to be proof that Lacoste came out with me. Kezu obviously would come. Lacoste,
I mean, you're a very AI focused person. I don't think if anybody wants to claim that a photo is
that's true. That's true.
real, I don't think you're the person to do that.
That's fair. The reason this is interesting for people that don't know, Lacoste usually does not hang out with people that often because he doesn't like the big groups. So if he does hang out with you, you look at it as a special privilege. And he did it 2 days in a row with me, which was insane. So anyway, went to Mama Noura with him and Kezu for the first night. You can see Kezu, he has this look on his face of just utter satisfaction. We discovered some new tech. We call it the MJL. It's the Mango Juice Large, is S tier. So that's another thing that we ended up getting at Mama Noura, along with the shawarma, which had 0 pictures of the shawarma, of course.
Yeah, makes sense when that's your favorite thing. That's the one thing you don't photograph.
I mean, I'd taken them in the past, so whatever.
Okay.
This one,
All right.
this was a different day. This is Sheever, for those that don't know. This is the Sheever. And this is also proof. This one looks more like AI because of her thumb up and everything. But this is proof that I got her to leave the hotel and go to Mama Noura, and she loved it to the point where she came again a second time, which again, unheard of for Shiver. So that was awesome.
You're really painting people in a light of nobody goes out, which is just not true.
Well, in Saudi, it is true. Yes, it is.
Okay. I mean, fair. All right.
I mean, to be
I can't
fair,
speak to that.
So in Saudi, like we're in a hotel and it's not a walkable country. It's just like Arizona. It's like literally no different. So you had to get Ubers. And yeah, finally convinced some people to go out. So had a lot of fun. This was on the boulevard. I don't know what it is about. It's so fascinating the way they do the boulevard. It's like this enormous, it's almost like a theme park thing, which I've shown pictures of before. They break it down every year and rebuild it. And it's a different configuration. Like nowhere is like, it looks similar as before, but it's like, oh, this building's over here this time. It's really interesting.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
So this is Attack on Titan. There was like a big anime building, which again, I'm not into the anime as much, but this is, you can see the guy on the left. That is how big this statue was. This is Attack on Titan.
Huge.
But yeah, they had this really cool setup with a lot of the anime stuff. They had another Japanese store. They had a Riot section where I got Nikki a plushie, which I can't remember the name of what are those things called? Shit, don't remember. What is it? Poro.
From Valorant?
Poro. That's from, I think it's from League or TFT, one of the two. This is another building, which is they had like a lot of racing stuff this time around.
If you're an audio listener, there is pictures going on.
Yep, that's right.
You can check the YouTube video if you're curious.
This was a very big building with VR racing. You put a VR thing on your head and you have this enormous widescreen. It was really cool. Like everything they do over there is like over the top, super crazy. This was the view out of my hotel. We were in a different hotel this time. Okay, went out to dinner with, you know who Fancy is? You don't know who Fancy is. He is the Arabic host. He was not the host.
Yeah, it's rang a bell, actually.
He's not the host this year. He did a different game. But the previous couple years, it was him with Tsunami. Went out with him and a bunch of his friends to a barbecue place. And this was legitimately one of the best barbecues I've ever had. These were ribs. The other side, I can't remember. Pork, but I don't remember. Oh, definitely not pork. Sorry. So ribs and then something else. You did not need a knife for any of this. It was so good. So that was an interesting experience eating at it's almost like an American barbecue place that's better than any American barbecue. Yeah, it's brisket. There you go. Somebody in chat saved me. This absolutely slapped. Super good. This was the first half of the tournament was in a different venue. And the second half is when it got better. This was what it looked like on the media day. So stage setup, and then the audience area with all the seats. This was a lot more elevated than before. I did not get to go into the league area, but I saw videos and it was like 5 times as big, if not more. it was like close to like a full arena. It's like pretty fucking huge. Meanwhile, we got this little baby thing, but it still looked really nice. And then, more pictures of that. And then the second half, the reason it was my favorite, not just because the games were better, because our setup was back to where our original love of the tournament came from, which they put us in this little box that has 2 air conditionings in it. You're never on camera. It's a fucking dream. This is the dream setup. Any tournament, any organizers out there that are looking to make the casting experience the best, this is what you replicate. Okay? Casualness. This is my S tier casting setup. 2 big screens, 2 computers, control your own camera if you want. Just a fucking dream, Cinderin.
Wear whatever you wanted. You could.
Yes. That is correct. Wait, is he lagging or me? Uh-oh. I'm dropping frames. Pausing recording. Okay, my internet went out, but we're back, I think, Cinderin. Yes, we're back.
In the famous words of SUNSfan, that has literally never happened before.
At this location,
but I can remember it
that's the first
happening
time.
at least once before.
That's
I see.
never before.
Okay.
Never before.
Got
Okay,
it.
go ahead. You were saying? Very important.
No, I was just saying this is so this is your idea of the perfect casting room is you can wear whatever you want, you can set your temperature to whatever you want, and you're never on camera. You just want to be heard, not seen.
That's correct.
Yep.
I don't know if
I don't know why I'm saying that like I didn't know that already, but
oh, what about you? Out of curiosity.
I think it's good for the story and for the overall like feel of the production that the casters do get shown on camera.
Okay, that doesn't. Okay, I'm not. You're talking about from an organizer standpoint. I'm talking about from a personal standpoint. Because I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it would be. I don't know. I still think it's nice to be on camera, just be introduced, and be a part of the show. Otherwise, there's something about. It's actually an interesting question. Is like, if what you're being used for in the production is your voice and commentary, do you need to be shown on camera? Because in some TV productions as well, with sports or whatever, it's actually a mix, right? In some TV sports, they show the casters, and some they don't. Not that we need to mimic that, but it's kind of an interesting thing where I think some casters are very known without anybody knowing what they look like in sports. Whereas in esports, I feel like everybody knows what you look like if they follow the sport. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like I guess there's a bit of a genre difference between esports and regular sports, where I think for esports it makes more sense to show the casters because there's more of a brand about you as a caster than I think there is in regular sports where you're a voice in a different way. I don't know if that makes...
Yeah, again, this is mostly from the organizer standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's comfortable to just meet in and do your cast. I guess
I'm
indifferent, to be honest.
I arrived like a day later than I was supposed to. And it was day of media. I arrived at 6 a.m., immediately went to media day. I got my makeup. That is the only day of the entire event that I got makeup. That's fucking amazing. You know how much I hate getting makeup.
I guess I'll say if you flip it around, I guess I can say from my perspective, there was the TI. Was it the last one? I think it was the last TI that we weren't on camera, right?
Yeah,
the one in Copenhagen.
We were in the box, and it was weird.
We were not on camera.
We were supposed to be.
I think we were originally supposed to be, and then it got axed because of like limitations with the venue or whatever, with like what cameras and what angles they could actually put on the lighting. Now that we've had a moment like that where it was missing, I felt like it was missing. I thought it was a shame. Also because we were like dressed up nicely and everything, right? It was meant to look professional, and then we weren't even on.
I dressed up nicely for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
If I could have worn a t-shirt, I would have been happy then.
So in that instance, did you mind that we weren't on camera at all? Or was it fine? And then you just got, adjusted to that? Because I thought it was a shame, personally, that we weren't a part of it. Both from a production standpoint, but also personally.
From a personal standpoint, no, I was still happy. I just don't like being on camera.
All right.
So,
I mean, fair enough. I
wonder if there's anybody else in the scene. Do you think there's anybody else that doesn't like to be on camera other than me? I genuinely just don't like it.
When you say don't like to,
yeah, it's just awkward. I never liked it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's other people that wouldn't mind not being on camera, but I mean, for panelists, it's obviously not possible. But
yeah. All right. Anyway, continuing on with my amazing slideshow.
Yes.
This next picture, we went to a bunch of malls. Okay.
Okay.
One mall was just, there's no pictures, but enormous mall, very standard American mall. Every other mall we went to was really interesting. One we went to was men's only.
That's a thing?
Well, not that men were the only ones allowed. The shops were only men's clothing.
Oh, I see.
And there were 50 different stores, all men's clothing. I'm like, how much of the same thing can you get? Then we go to a building next door. It's just women's. I wish I had taken a picture of this. It's just women's dresses, like super fancy Disney-esque dresses. Again, 50 different stores with insanely nice looking dresses. And like, when do they ever wear this stuff? And then another store where we ended up going, which I'm not going to show pictures of because I didn't take them because I'm a moron. Do you know what an abaya is?
We're still looking at Kezu.
I know.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure that was intended. For the audio listeners, the
Nothing
50
to be
nice
seen.
dress stores,
Yes.
we're talking over that with Kezu doing a pog face in the casting room.
That's right. That's correct.
Just in case you feel you were missing anything.
So
I mean, it's a podcast, so you're actually staying very true to it. That's
Nikki
good.
wanted me to get her an abaya, which is very similar to like a kimono. And they had a literal mall, which was just abaya. Like, it's so interesting that you go to a mall, there's only one thing to get, but there's a million options. So I ended up getting her a pink dress, which she didn't want me to show her picture because, women are like, no, I don't look good in this picture. But the reason...
She's going to be happy you said it like that.
Yes. That is an accurate impression. But this was the most interesting thing I found at any of the malls. Right here, Senator. I want you to tell me what you see here.
This looks like... So the mannequin looks like it's shaped after a character from... What's that spy movie called?
I don't know.
You know this, Shannon. It's a
James
cartoon.
Bond.
No, a cartoon. There's a woman spy and a male spy, right? No, not is it spies? Shit, now what's it called? The Untouchable? Is it called Untouch? No, not
This is the
Untouchables.
worst.
What are they called?
I know what you mean. They're superheroes. They're not spies.
Yeah, not spies, superheroes. Their outfits have like... I guess the reason my mind went to spies is because of the masks they're wearing, right? What are they called? The Incredibles. Thank you.
There you go.
Someone in your
Just
chat knows.
an incredible story you're telling right now as well. Continue,
This
please.
is shaped after the guy in The Incredibles. That's a mannequin that's shaped after a guy in The Incredibles, but then it's a mannequin with shorts and a t-shirt that looks like it has a beer belly. It's actually kind of shaped like Homer Simpson, actually.
Yes. Okay. So somehow you made that into a 2-minute spiel. This is a fat mannequin. That's the easy said and done. All right. It's a first fat mannequin I've ever seen.
Dude, you say that, and then people don't know that it looks like the guy from The Incredibles, which is important. Or Homer. I think Homer was good. So it's pretty accurate.
I found this hilarious because apparently there's a lot of fat people in Saudi because they're rich and they just eat. Not dissimilar to the U.S., but they are aware of their fatness to the point that they have fucking mannequins. Like, imagine this. In the U.S., we're in denial that we're completely morbidly obese. Everything is skinny, skinny mannequin here, skinny mannequin there. Seeing a fat mannequin, it's like, oh, maybe I'll buy that shirt. I did not, of course, but I could have.
So it didn't work. It could also be because the shirt displayed on this mannequin does not look good.
Yes.
That could also be the reason you didn't buy it.
That is true.
What is this abomination of a shirt?
I don't know.
And the shorts look like they're trying to be sporty, but they don't look sporty.
Yeah, they look...
So I don't know what's going on with this.
Whatever. He's got thick calves as well. Just awesome. S-tier mannequin right here. Next, I'm showing a picture of Magic the Gathering. I played it for the first time, Cinderin.
Wow, you played a board game.
Well, it's a card game, but yes.
Well, yeah, a card game, excuse me. Yeah, you do like card games. So I guess you could get sold on that.
Lacoste and Kezu playing with me. Wait, was I playing in this version? Yeah, I think so. And then Cap is just waiting for us to finish, and it just took forever. I won my first game, Cinderin. I beat Lacoste and Kezu. Kezu was out in like 3 turns. He sucked ass. He got bullied out immediately, and then I whittled down Lacoste. He had like this one hero that had like 80 pieces of equipment attached, and I just bypassed him with a flying creature that poked at him over and over and over. And eventually won out. I was very, very happy. This is commander mode. Again, I know almost nothing about Magic, but it's...
Me neither.
It's interesting. It is an interesting game. I've never really been gravitated towards it because it's so complicated, but Jenkins finally convinced me by saying, not that he even plays, but we listen to a lot of podcasts where basically everybody's origin story is fucking Magic the Gathering, right? So there's a lot to learn in game design, so that's the main reason I'm trying to pick it up a bit. But yeah, cool game. Super
sense.
complicated.
You do like some card games though, so I guess it's not too far from. The reason I said board game immediately is I remember having this conversation with you where you're like, you don't really like board games, and I'm just looking at you putting stuff on a table in a game. I'm already like, you don't like this. You like games like Werewolf, right?
Yeah, Werewolf is in this picture, by the way.
Right. That's why I was thinking of it. It's like that isn't even really a card game or a board game, right? It's like a mental game.
It's a party game. Basically. Party deception game.
Right?
Which, by the way, Nat and Effie became completely obsessed with One Night Werewolf, and they played it literally every night. They just kept my game for the whole trip, essentially. So a lot of people got into that. So yeah, that is... And then the next picture, this is a picture of my cat. It's one of the best pictures that Nikki's ever taken.
That is a great picture.
This is Pookie Pazuki. She's the best, second best actually, behind Monkey, of course. Amazing picture. Okay, this is the last part of the slideshow. This is a not safe for work potentially, because there's boobs. There's boobs, but it's my boobs. Okay.
Oh.
So Kezu and Jenkins and I went to the sauna in our hotel.
Oh, I see.
And, well, I worked out, actually. Then we went to the sauna. It was really nice. And then they had this shower that Jenkins was telling me was super cool. Basically, you hit a button, and it's like tropical rainforest setting or something. And you'll see what happens. I'm not going to say anything else. I enjoyed it. But you're going to want to watch this with sound, by the way. So
it's a clip. I thought it was
It's an actual video of me showering. Okay. So not safe for work, and I have boobs.
We are doing everything to get to the hour here.
That's right. You can see my love handles. Here we go, Cinder. This is 1 minute and 15 seconds.
You're playing the whole thing.
You'll see. It's funny. It has its funny moments. Okay, it's not... Okay, here we go. Sure. Just watch and enjoy.
Scared. It's just cold.
Just wait. You'll see the river rapids come soon.
Oh, it's fucking freezing.
Wait, which one did you... Oh, here we go.
It's squirting in my face.
I don't think you pressed the right one. Press the bottom one.
Niagara rain?
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? You said tropical rain this whole time.
Yeah, my bad. There you go. Isn't that nice?
So you hit both, that's the thing.
You can?
You hit both. No, it's not. That's not good. Sounds like a toilet flush.
Where's the rain? Oh, there it is.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that cool?
It's so hot now.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, why do they not have this in more? This is actually such a fucking cool concept. You hit a button, it plays like, it could be relaxing, rain, whatever. This last one was like a storm where the lights actually flash. There's speakers. That's actually super fucking cool. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I'm wondering if we need to put in an epilepsy warning for this episode from that flickering.
That's right. The flicker is very strong.
I'm half serious, by the way. That was a pretty intense light show that suddenly showed up. It was very unexpected.
We'll put that as the title of the episode. I'm sure a lot of people will click it. Epilepsy warning. Yeah, the episode with epilepsy warning.
I think that doesn't really help people with epilepsy because they don't know when to skip. Then they just skip the whole episode.
What can you do?
That's terrible. Can't you put in like a notification or something in the video? They removed that, right? The whole in video text thing.
They got rid of that years ago. Oh. So anyway, this is really stretching the episode. We're at 40 minutes now. This was the trip to Riyadh. It was fun. I had fun. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That kind of shower thing does look pretty cool. Yeah, I'm surprised, but now you're out there.
That's right.
For
All
a
right.
person who doesn't like being on camera, I'm pretty impressed that you chose to show a 1 minute, 15-second clip of you showering, of all things.
That's right. Now AI can
But,
take hold of it and make some
yeah.
really messed up shit for sure.
All right.
So you put this
That's
topic in.
Crownfall.
You put this topic in. So
I
go
did
ahead.
not put in Crownfall.
I mean, you know what the topic is. Discuss it.
All right. So, well, we were talking about we had nothing to talk about. Now it's just like, well, if nothing has happened, we can talk about what could happen. And
Wow. Incredible.
okay, so the reason I just want to quickly get around to this is I think this is something where it's been pretty interesting to see, mainly on Reddit, how divided the community is in their perspective of the removal of Battle Pass and the introduction of something like Crownfall, right? Like the trade-off. Because when you read it, it seems very polarizing. A lot of people are like, we want the Battle Pass back. I love spending money on this game and getting hats in return. And others are like, Crownfall was amazing. It wasn't very expensive, but I feel like I got really good value. And I guess what I'm getting at with this is now Valve has tried. They did Battle Pass, now they did Crownfall, and they've done the compendium of last year's TI. Do you think that what they're doing for this TI will be similar to the compendium from last year, or do you think they're going to merge? Because I hope they're going to merge and like implement some ideas because they've seen the fans and the community at large liking certain things. I think universally, the compendium of last year was overwhelmingly considered a letdown, right?
Yeah.
People thought it was really uninteresting. There wasn't enough depth to it. There wasn't enough to work towards. Do you think, feasibly, that there is a way that Valve are implementing a compendium this year, but with a progression system, like Crownfall, for example, or maybe a little bit of a battle pass? Do you think there's a chance for that? They're obviously not going to do the big battle pass. They've said they've done away with that. And do you think it's good? Like, what are you hoping for?
So when did Crownfall come out last year? Because it was way before this time, right?
I think it was April.
We were on
right?
Act 3 or 4, like before TI. So they're way past due then. Maybe the idea is Crownfall, like you said, it kind of merges a bit into the Battle Pass, or whatever you want to call it, through TI, so that you get people excited right before TI, and then that event extends until like February, March, or April, or whatever. So maybe that's the big plan. Because I think considering, like, again, I don't know how it worked out monetary-wise with Crownfall, but I think generally people were very happy with it. So I would expect it to return largely in a similar fashion. I mean, the harder thing is to think of game modes that are fresh every year.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
But that's the fun of game design, you know?
Right.
Because imagine you're working on Dota for so long, but you get this little reprieve to be able to think of something completely outside the box. And I mean, they're paid a shit ton of money. They're extremely good at their jobs. Like, they're professionals for a reason. So I think, like, if I were in their shoes, this would be, like, I would love the challenge of thinking of new game modes every year, you know?
I mean, if you wanted to make the community happy, you would make Act 2 of Agnim's Labyrinth, right? That was
True.
like probably the single most celebrated custom game they've made.
Yeah.
It wasn't my own personal favorite. It was very good, but I think it was the one that had like the most. If it had a rating, it would probably have the highest average rating for the players, right?
So if that were the case, that would replace the Vampire Survivors, right? That would be like the final thing.
Yeah, if you even do that format, right? Because so Crownfall had a lot of mini games that were effectively just reskins and rethinking of classic, like easy to play, easy to access video games, right? Like Minesweeper, etc. Do you think? Because I feel like they can't just do that again. Actually, I think if they do the same thing with just other basic games, if you will, and the same kind of format as Crownfall, I think people will feel really let down that it's just copy paste. I think you have to do something that's a little bit more your own creation rather than just your own IP slapped on top of a different product. So for me, Ag's Lab version 2 would be probably a really good way of doing it, where you also don't need to make it from scratch because you already have obviously the original Ag's Lab that you implemented. So you can probably, I would imagine, reuse a lot of the code, or at least reuse the concept and the idea, even if you have to code a lot of the stuff again because of new patches in Dota or whatever happened. They could probably still save a lot of time and work hours, right? Probably use a lot of the assets again to some extent. I don't know. That's something that I think that's my biggest question mark for Dota this year is what are Valve doing to get people excited for TI? Because we know they don't advertise TI, they never have, but the advertisement for TI was always in itself was the Battle Pass, right? Then they went away, they did away with the Battle Pass, they did Crownfall last year, which was successful for sure. They did the Compendium only, I believe, the year before, which was not great, right? It's been 2 years without Battle Pass now, right? I think.
Yeah,
It's
at
been
least
3.
It's at least
Maybe
2.
it's been 3. Oh, it's hard to keep track. But yeah,
I mean,
like-
I'll just say this. Like, this is maybe going off on a different slightly topic, but I feel like TI doesn't feel the same as it has, and I'm questioning whether that's because of the prize pool or not. I think the prize pool probably has some degree to do with it, but I think it's mostly the fact that there's just so many tournaments now, and TI doesn't really differentiate itself much. Like, it just feels like a slightly higher scale tournament versus the literal 15 plus that we have throughout the year, right?
I mean, the biggest thing in the past, aside from the flat out the gravitas of having such a big prize pool, was all the things revolving around TI that have been cut back on, right? So like TrueSight, the secret shop and its implementation there, the spectacle of the arenas and the way in which they implemented them, and the way in which they, like, all the team documentaries or player profiles where they would fly out and do like one-on-one with players and with family and all this stuff to really make these big stories. I feel like, to me, one of the things that made TI feel so big, aside from the money, was the effort that went into the production. And it's clear that they've cut back on a lot of that, either because the people that were working on it didn't want to do it anymore, or because Valve just assessed that this is not worth it. Like, I think people really underestimate how expensive it is to make something like TrueSight. It costs millions of dollars, right? And if you are going to do that, you need to feel like either you want to do it because you love it and because you have money to throw at it, or you do it as something that you feel like is genuinely a good investment and there's ROI in it. And I would assume that Valve axed it because the ROI, they just assessed it wasn't good enough. Like, TrueSight wasn't pulling in enough players. They couldn't see a direct correlation between releasing TrueSight and player retention or new players coming in or whatnot. But it's one of those things where I think sometimes it can be a bit of a plague that companies and the world at large is so obsessed with numbers, is that there are certain things that you can't really measure, right? It's like, the pride of being a fan and the joy of connecting with this game and how you feel interacting with it. It's very hard to measure the long-term effects of cutting something like that out, right? You can measure the short-term effect of not doing it, but then now we're 3-4 years down the line, and now suddenly you're seeing fans that are like looking back with joy and wishing they had what they used to, because now that it's gone, they can really... There's a lot of posts and people writing like, yeah, I'm just not as interested in TI as I used to be. It doesn't feel the same. This is why it doesn't feel the same. It's because you've cut out the really fat pieces of meat that made it so great, and now you've like trimmed it down to just, in essence, tournament, prize money, world-class teams, and now a lot of the extra stuff is just missing. And I hope, that's where I'm going with this, I hope that they're going to add something in-game that's going to draw more attention to TI, whether it's a game mode or some sort of story or some sort of progression system that will be interesting, that'll get people engaged. And I hope they will do a little bit more, at the very least this year, on the production side to get people more engaged with the content, right? That said, I always think TI is a great tournament. I haven't been to a TI and then afterwards been like, man, this tournament sucked, huh? Like, that hasn't happened yet. But I've definitely...
Shanghai?
I would agree with the sentence. No, even that. It had its own charm, I guess. But I will say it's definitely been better, right? I think that's a fair thing to say.
You make a very good point that, so when we talk about the differences, like when they originally changed the Battle Pass, they nixed it, right? And we thought, in place of having gameplay related stuff, this is going to be a good trade-off, but we didn't really consider the extracurricular stuff, the miscellaneous that you're alluding to now that we're missing. Because if you put all of that together, then this is just worse. This is just objectively worse.
Special, right?
Yeah. Like
Because that's what the other tournaments couldn't do out of budgeting reasons, right? It's really expensive to make all this extra stuff, but Valve could do it. That's why TI was so big and so special, is that they could do that stuff.
like if you take a chunk out of it and then leave it as was, it would still be incredible, right? I don't know if we'd be complaining or whatever this is, but you actually just took out almost all of it. It's literally a bare bones tournament that is equivalent to, I would say, a lot of, or at least close to equivalent to a lot of the tournaments that we see every year. So it gets lost in the shuffle. But I do think some of that can be remedied with whatever they're going to end up doing for the in-game, whether Crownfall, Battle Pass merging, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
some sort of merging and more production. That would be cool.
The only downside of Crownfall, from my perspective, is that you don't get these big events, like not necessarily Battle Pass, but the Ags Lab, Siltbreaker, sure, or I never remember the names of the ones that we really like.
Mad Moon.
Yeah, Mad Moon.
What was it called?
Yeah, there were several ones that were similar to that we really, really liked that they just never remade for some reason. So,
Year Beast event, Dire Tide. They've done quite a lot over the years.
Well, the Year Beast was terrible, wasn't it?
No, I was just referencing events that they have done, right?
Year Beast was bad.
Or...
Nemesis was bad. Like, I think rehashing some of these old ideas is fine because it's been so long now, and just tweaking them, I think it would be more than enough. But we'll see. Right. So to boil this down, do you think they're going to come out with something before TI?
I definitely think there will be something.
Well, okay. Forget about the baby battle pass, whatever the fuck they did last year. Nobody gives a shit about that, right?
Okay.
Like, they're going to do that regardless.
So you're saying, what do I think or what do I hope for?
Think.
What? Okay. I think they will put in a game mode, and either it will be implemented as part of a progression system or not. It will just be a standalone. But I do think they're going to put in something else into Dota than just Dota itself, because it's been a really long time and there's been a lot of requests for it. And I think this is a very good way of bridging the gap with what they've learned from Crownfall, and then hopefully doing that with the progression system. So I think they're going to do that. And then I think we're getting a letter patch. I don't think we're getting a big update. I also don't think we necessarily really need one. That's just some things in this patch are clearly just busted and overtuned, and it should be pretty easy to push back on those a little bit. And then I also, I don't know, am I coping here to say that they'll put in Kez at this point?
I was about to ask. I don't think they will.
How long's TI out now? 5 weeks?
I don't think so.
It's like 5 weeks out?
Because the last major patch, they reworked a shit ton of him. So I don't know if that's enough time. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Well, that's not true. From a viewer, I wouldn't mind it, obviously. Love to see new heroes. As a caster, if we were to cast TI, that is, I wouldn't. I have no idea how this hero works. I don't find him interesting at all. So from that perspective, it's kind of weird, I guess. But maybe that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
But I think I've said this before. I think out of every new hero, literally, this is the only one that I wasn't particularly excited to cast. I don't know if you feel any differently.
Wait, what was the last hero that you did not do a hero spotlight for?
Oh, it's quite a few now, right?
Like how many? What was the last one you did?
Oh,
do you remember? Was it Pango?
No, it would be later than that, but I have no idea what it would be.
All right. There's been a few then. Because that's a way to learn the hero, right? If you have to do the hero spotlight, you need to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, what do you think? You asked me what I think. What do you think they're going to do?
I think there will not be a game mode. I think it'll be a more Crownfall centric, except the timeline has changed so that it bleeds into TI, so the viewership goes up and the player base goes up during that time. And then the bigger game mode would be like the Act 4 equivalent, which, for this last one was the Vampire Survivors. For this one, it would be like an Ags Lab type thing.
And then they could do that next year, basically, because Act 4 could run all the way into spring. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I do not think Kez will get in for TI, but...
Yeah, I don't know either. I was pretty confident, actually, that he would half a year ago. But at this point, it's like, we're this close. The hero still seems... They still seem like they don't really know what they want to do with it. It's been changed so many times already in terms of numbers and some mechanics and stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe they just don't really know where it's at. All right. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, TI is 5 weeks away. If they want to do any balance patches, I think time is ticking at this point. The closest to TI I remember them ever releasing a patch was, I think, 2 weeks prior. So they still have time for that if it's just the balancing patch. But if they actually want to add or remove anything of substance, then I would generally recommend giving the players at least 3 weeks if you want them to show their best. Some things do take time to adjust to.
I mean,
but I don't
that
think
could
it's
make
gonna
it
be a big
fun.
patch, so.
That could be fun
Sure,
if
yeah.
they just shit at it.
Yeah.
But then it would just be banned. I feel like it's just going to get banned most games if it's even remotely good. So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But even then, like that opens up another hero to be played. So whatever. All right,
True.
final topic that you added, not me. Relic Arena. Quick update. This is kind of a bastardized version of the newsletter that I sent out. I couldn't figure out a way to not show my email, but yeah, we have a newsletter now. If you go to relicarena.com/subscribe, you can sign up and we'll send it out every month or two. So there's been over 400 matches played. I mean, some of this stuff is not that interesting, I guess. We have stats on how often people use advanced tooltips and auto-equip, things like that. There's 2 people abusing bugs in our games right now. They're very annoying. Very good testers, though. We added a matchmaking time. Again, I don't know how much of this is even interesting because it's in closed beta, but essentially we opened it up like, I think it's 8 hours a day, roughly, where people can matchmake. And we're going to be working, like we have so many things that I can talk about probably next week or the couple weeks after. We added relic banning into the game, so finally that has been something people have been wanting for a while, which of course means that every game is going to be different based on what's banned, so similar to AA. Now the issue is
random, or do
is
people vote?
It is random, but it shows at the beginning of the game, and you can look at it anytime during the game that you want. But yeah, it's added a lot of variability to the game. The thing that has been the negative is people are getting the juicies, the highest upgrade of the relics, more often because there's less relics in the pool.
Right.
But that's just a symptom of us not having enough relics in the game. But we've added like 5 in the last week, and there's going to be 5 more next week. So like that's 10 extra spells that we're adding. There's a new leader, Wong Fei Hung, which is a Jenkins creation. He's kind of cool. So you want to put a spam ability on the left slot. Essentially what happens is when you cast a spell, every relic to the right of it gets lowered cooldown. So the idea is you get like a spam spell and then like an ultimate that has a longer cooldown. So you can cast ults multiple times in a round. Persian Carpet, which was modeled and designed after my literal Persian carpet that I have in my house, which is cool. This is essentially blink. You blink in with the carpet and you gain spell damage temporarily. And then Claw Machine is another one we added. Again, I didn't really have time to put stuff together, so I can't really show anything. But Claw Machine is essentially Pudge Hook. So you put down a Claw Machine on the ground like it's this physical obstruction, and it hooks people into the area. We added leaderboards and ranks to the game. So you start out as a peasant, then Acolyte, Scholar, Warden, Commander, General, Chancellor, and then Supreme Overlord is the highest rank.
When I looked at this the first time, I was like, these are great names and really nice medals, and then I couldn't help but kind of laugh at Supreme Overlord just looking like the CS one. It's just like everything else is like, oh, this is like topical, like the peasant one with like the hay, the candles like melting. Supreme Overlord is just
extreme. It's just extreme.
Just so funny. It just really stands out because all the other ones like fit each other in like style. And this last one is just like, it looks like it's from a different game. That's pretty funny. I guess that's what you're going for.
Yeah, I wanted it to be totally outside of it needs to have a galaxy feel, I guess.
Yeah.
We added a leaderboard to the game, and we have a tournament. Doesn't matter. That's just for closed beta people. But yeah, so things are on their way. Like I said, there's a bunch of spells that we just added this week, so I haven't even made a newsletter for that. But once we get like the other 5, then I'll put another newsletter together, and then I'll actually show in-game stuff for the next episode or whenever I talk about it. But yeah, things are progressing. hopefully hopefully early access in a couple months is the idea. I think we've changed our mind. Did I talk about this?
Mm-hmm. So I think the way I remember it, the last time you talked about this was a bit over a month ago. Probably you talked about Relic Arena, and I think we were talking about how you had just entered closed beta or you were about to. Does that check out timeline wise?
Yeah, maybe. So closed beta has been quite good. A lot of people playing now, so we're getting a lot of good feedback. And sorry, what did I just say before that? I'm having an old man moment.
You said you were. Oh, I'm having one too.
Oh, right, the early access. Yeah, I couldn't remember what I had actually announced,
we
but we were kind of playing around with the idea of having an early access that people would pay to get in, and then have an extended period of that, and then the full release later. But we've changed our minds, and the idea now is to have an early access that is basically what we're going to be we're acting as a launch. But so there's a couple reasons for this. And the early access is not going to be paid, so it's still going to be free to play. But the idea behind that is this thing is taking so fucking long. It is so fucking expensive. We just need to get certain stuff in, like monetization, progression, to make the game something that you can just get addicted to. Because right now, I think we have a strong feeling that if you're into this kind of game, you play. If you're able to get over that initial hump, you'll become addicted. That's the idea. But getting over that initial hump is really hard because we don't have the full-fledged tutorial in yet, or the little goodies that we need to add to, connect everything as a normal game would. So the idea with the early access is it gives us some leeway, meaning some things might not be 100% polished, but good enough for an early access game from an indie company that has never released a standalone game before. So that's the idea. But we're still gonna treat it as if it's the launch of our game. So it's
effectively, it's pretty close to what happened with Dota, right? If you think about it.
No, that's pretty accurate, actually. Yeah. So it's
Dota 2 came out. It was in beta for 2 years. There were tons of heroes missing, and they officially released the game in 2013. So that was like 2 years after TI1.
Yeah.
And people that were interested, I think for Valve, it was the same logic, right? You want to get people in and playing the game when it's good enough, and then they know that stuff is coming. Because people were so eager to play, so they just opened the floodgates and they had the server capacity they just ran it. So I think it's a good idea. I think I would say for my 2 cents is that is a better way of doing it than your other idea. So I think that's a good call.
Yep, we'll see. We will see. So yeah, if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, relicarena.com/subscribe. Yeah, I'll have more updates in the future weeks, and I'll actually show more in-game stuff. I just didn't have time to put it together today. But yeah, it's been good. Guess what, Cinder? We made it past an hour. Can you believe it?
Just barely. We really pushed it, and we had tech issues.
All right, I have one more. Nikki is begging me to do something.
Okay.
Wait. No, Persian. Okay, I thought you meant a different thing, Nikki. But Persian carpet, we have a new spell that accompanies it called Persian cat, which I'm not ready to show yet, but it's essentially Ravage, so you're blinking in with Persian carpet, and then you have the Ravage, which is going to be cat paws coming up out of the ground. So that's the Wombo combo. And right now the sound effect is really bad. It's just somebody screaming at the top of their lungs, so people hate it at the moment. It's just a temporary sound effect. It's really bad. I don't know why we even put that in as a temp thing.
Temporary sound effect to match cats if someone's screaming.
It does not sound like a cat at all. Anywho.
There were other ways of doing that, but that's a good way to make people notice the spell, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody will like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think, so not to continue this, but I think one thing that I've changed my mind on is I wanted to treat the closed beta as kind of like we're in live mode where we only put in spells when they're completely polished. I changed my mind. It just takes too long. And there's just not enough spells in the game. We just need to keep pumping this shit out. So once we get to a certain point, then we can start having that mentality again. But yep, that is it. Thank you. Oh, my God, what is it, woman? She's literally hijacking the fucking podcast. All right, I'm going to do a SUNSfan recommends. Hold on, let me find this fucking thing.
Okay. All right.
There it is.
I was just going to say we could have Nikki as a guest, but we've actually had that episode where we were the guests
That's right.
and she was the host, so we've
All
already
right.
done that.
SUNSfan recommends. You're not going to believe these words coming out of my mouth. K-pop Demon Hunters movie.
What?
She's been begging me to watch this movie for like weeks now. And of course, just by the name, I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm obviously not interested in this, okay? Then we had nothing to watch, and I was eating, so I'm like, all right, just put it on, whatever. I have to admit, it was quite good. It was quite good.
Holy shit, this is really good ratings. This is 96%.
It was quite good.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
So if you don't like K-pop, that doesn't mean you won't like the show, because I'm not, or the movie. This is on Netflix, I believe. K-pop Demon Hunters. Very well done. I was quite impressed that they could make a movie about this shit that I would like, but they did. So, yeah. Would recommend for people that like watching things.
Oh, well, I'm out then, but we're
Yeah,
good.
that's why I said it that way.
Everybody else enjoy.
That's right. All right. Am I allowed to end the podcast now? She didn't say anything. That's the first time she hasn't said anything all day. Okay. Thanks for watching. Hopefully there's news soon about something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to say this as a final comment. I think we've said it before, too. Like, we obviously, our goal with the podcast is to run it weekly, but we do push it if there's literally nothing happening, because we also want to have stuff to talk about that's interesting. So I think with the direction of Dota right now and just overall a little bit of a drought right now, I think realistically speaking, we're probably on average for a bit doing one every second week, I guess, unless there's something more pressing.
Yeah.
Obviously, whenever there's a big patch or something coming out, we always do an episode immediately. Or if there's like big news, we obviously want to run it.
Yeah, if like the sequel of this movie came out, we'd do an episode just because of that, of course.
For sure. Of course. But yeah, let's hope for more news and more developments in Dota. And I mean, we're heading into TI season, so surely there's going to be something coming up very soon too.
Do something. Poking. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, Sunset Center signing out. Goodbye.
Bye.
We say things
Subscribe.
that don't mean anything.
We can say subscribe right now.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.